What's up? I'm Asteria. This is an interview with Internet Underground, a conversation with Asteria. We went on Instagram and asked you guys a bunch of questions, so I'm gonna answer them. Someone said, what is your favorite color? It's red, you know? Someone asked, how do you feel about Jin Nagawa? I mean, he's one of my biggest inspirations. I was like 11 or 12 or something. Looking at his art, I really loved his aesthetic. Super influential, you know, back in like 2016, 2017, everything. He's still influential to this day. I mean, he influenced me so much. The original character before mine, it's like, I love that guy. I'm really proud of him. I really want to meet him one day. I fucking love it. His clothes, his art, his music, everything is amazing. Someone said, are your parents supportive? Yeah, my parents were really supportive. They let me drop out of school when I was 16 to pursue music because my brother really paved the way for them to have an open mind to, like, you know, finding success on the internet, because my brother found a lot of success on the internet when we were really young, and it really influenced our lives and influenced how we grew up. He used to be a professional Fortnite player. When we were like 12, we played Fortnite, the video game, when it first came out. I thought it was pretty cool, but, you know, he just kept fucking playing it all the time, all day, all night. Then they actually started having tournaments where people can win money from like being good at the game. They had this big esports event where they'll fly people over to New York City to all compete against each other, all the best Fortnite players in the world. He qualified for that shit. He was like 14. Oh my God, I did not even expect what was to come. You know, when he came home and he went to school, never heard the end of it. I mean, back then Fortnite was so popular, every fucking kid was playing this game, you know, and everyone was talking about his success. And me being his brother, you know, I was called the Fortnite guy's brother. People would always ask me questions about him, shit like how much did he make, like can he play with them, shit like this, you know what I mean? But that really showed my parents that, like, oh shit, you know, you actually can be like successful on the internet and it really doesn't matter what age you are. You know, they were really against him playing the fucking game so much back then. But when he went to the World Cup and really proved that, you know, you can get money, you can have a career on these sort of things, they really opened their mind up to like what's possible. So I feel like I really have my brother to thank why my parents were so supportive with me dropping out of school at 16 to pursue music. Someone said, favorite place to perform? Warsaw. You know, Polish people, they know the words to every single song. I remember when we brought kits out in Warsaw during the Digital Dancer Tour, and I think Jesus Christ could have gotten resurrected right in front of them and they would have reacted less than how they reacted when Kids went on stage. Warsaw really showed up for him. They really showed up for him, and that was probably like one of the best shows I've ever had in my life. Because I mean, I got to do it with kids as well. I feel like only Warsaw will be able to go that insane at that fucking level that they did, you know, out of any other place. So yeah, Warsaw is my favorite place to perform. Someone said, do you ever get scared for performing in front of so many people? It depends. You can get into a mode with it, you know? I remember at the beginning of the Digital Dancer Tour, I was really scared, I was really nervous. But then as time went on, you know, I get more comfortable, you kind of get into the rhythm of doing it more and more. I think I got a lot better during that tour as well. So nowadays, I don't think so. I think once I really shake it off, it's fine. Someone said, does the Asteria character have any lore? Yeah, she does. But it's a Kikamori neighborhood, you know, our artist. It's his job to tell that story. You'll see. Someone said, what's your dream car? To be honest, I don't give a fuck about cars. I can't even drive. Like, I know how to drive, but I don't have a license, so don't give a fuck. I mean, maybe like, I don't care about the model, but I would care about how it looks. Like, I feel like I would actually, yeah, I would wrap my car in like some bullshit. I want the type of car that people point out of their window and be like, well, look at that. But not because of the model, because who fucking cares? But because of like the decoration on it, you know? I'm gonna have a very like bright, vibrant car once I do get a driver's license. Someone said, is your favorite cartoon character still Rigby or has it changed since the last interview? Now, I think it's Jen from MTV Downtown.
And you, my friend, need to obsess over a wider range of inaccessible females.
I'll do my best.
She's such a real friend. She just does her own thing. She doesn't give a shit about pleasing anybody. I think everyone should take something away from Jen from MTV Downtown. If you haven't watched MTV Downtown, you should. It's really good. Someone said, what childhood TV show did you grow up watching? I grew up watching Wow Wow Wubbzy.
Wow. I guess Santa knew that making Daisy happy was what I wanted most of all.
I just had to watch Wow Wow Wubbzy like over and over and over. I'm not gonna lie. I wasn't really obsessed with it. It was just kind of what I was handed, you know. So like, wow, up to. Someone said, which bands or artists have inspired you? Osquin will always be really high up there.
I got eyes on the back of my head, I can see shit. I know when to dodge when you stab me in the back. Bitch, I swear that the whole entire world is against me. I told her I just wanna be friends, but she texts me. Just want you to
She's what really made me believe that music is possible. From your bedroom, make some fire shit on SoundCloud with your friends, and people will like it. Of course, Lil Peep. The way that he carried himself and the way that he was. I feel like I see a lot of myself in Lucifer, Extra. Sidrocore. It's a big, big influence on all of my music, and I just really fucked with it, you know? It felt like it came from a different world. It was something that I really wanted to have in my music as well. Rest in peace. It's really sad. And Auditari as well. He's a massive inspiration, you know? I'm really glad that I actually got to like meet him, you know, in real life and see him. I even performed with him as well.
I'm trying to bring out a special guest.
He's a really amazing guy, you know? I'd say those four. Lucifer, Lil Peep, Osquin, Auditari, you know? Some others around, but like those mainly. Someone said, how do you get over someone? I mean, why would you want to? You love them so much, and you clearly like still do, because you want to get over them. It's like a lot of energy that's inside yourself, you know? Why would you want to let it all fizzle away? I don't think you should be scared of emotions or trying to run away from emotions, you know? It's like the reason why people skydive. You think they really just like the feeling of falling out in the air? I mean, maybe some skydiving professionals, I don't know, but like regular people, they don't go skydiving just because they want to see what it feels like. They want to feel alive. Like they want to feel all those emotions, the anxiousness, the relief. Running from emotions or trying to suppress them or trying to stay at a baseline level, why the fuck would you want to do that? Like you're put on this earth to feel things, you know? I make music because I want to make people feel things. I listen to music because I want to feel things from other people. Be as mad and as upset and, you know, as sad as you want. Put the energy towards something good and then you'll just open your eyes and all of a sudden the time passed and you're better off without them. You've improved. You're in a new chapter of your life. It's like, it's a good way to go about it, you know? Someone said, what have been the biggest changes in your life since the last Internet Underground interview? I mean, to be honest, I change like every 2 months. I'm like a new person every 2 months. I constantly change myself. I can't really pinpoint my identity because it always changes like every couple months. I was 17 back then, you know, like I was pretty nervous, you know, I was mumbling and everything, but like, fuck, I was in LA for the first time being in America. I was a fucking kid, you know what I mean? Like, it was really, you know, I got like thrown into the deep end of experiencing a lot of things, you know, blowing up at such a young age and being completely independent by myself, you know, a lot of things. Someone said, if you could talk to your younger self before your first release, what would you say? To be honest, nothing. He knows what he's doing, making me into the person I am right now. I'm going to figure it out at one point anyway. I always believed in myself, especially back then, especially when it was like, you know, kind of life or death because, you know, I dropped out of school, had no qualifications. I didn't even have any like backup plan at all. Like I applied for McDonald's, Burger King, Subway, and KFC, thinking maybe I could get like some day job to like make money on the side, but I didn't even get a fucking interview or a callback or anything. The only thing that made me not a failure and made me actually achieve what I wanted was my beliefs in myself. Someone said, what was the worst year of your life? I think I have the worst year of my life and the best year of my life every year. The bad things get worse and the good events get better every single year. It gets more and more intense. So like worst year of my life, all of them. Someone said, how could you describe your relationship with kids? I mean, Kaseki is my brother. I have him tattooed on me. This is my brother in real life. This is me in real life. That's my character, and that's kids. Tattooed on the center of my body for life. We like all the same exact foods, and we hate all the same foods. We like the same sort of clothes and hate all the same sort of clothes. We like the same sort of music and hate the same sort of music. It's like looking into a mirror. But the reflection of myself isn't even the part that I enjoy. It's the other perspective on the same things that I think is beautiful between us. Like, we're literally inseparable. If anyone that I meet, I'm like, you better like him or else I'm afraid I can't fucking talk to you. Nothing can fucking rip us away. Ever since we locked in on I Fucked a Friend way back in 2023, we've never had a single day that we don't talk to each other through everything in different time zones. He's always been there for me and I've always been there for him. Without him, I don't even know where I would be. I always looked up to, like Lil Peep, Lil Tracy, these duos that I loved them so much. And it's like the same, Asteria and Kitseki. That sort of thing, it can't be manufactured and people can see that and they really resonate with it. Even if I completely quit music and just, moved to New Zealand and went on a farm or something, like we would still have so much in common and we would still talk every day for life. You know what I mean? It's amazing, always love them. Someone said, what was the production process like for Party for Life? This album took months, but if you actually wrote down the amount of hours that were spent on it, it could have been done in a week. But that's how it was so natural, When we don't have anything else to do and we're like, oh, let's just work on the album. There was no push at all. We didn't push ourselves at all with Party for Life. There was like no one to impress. We wanted to do exactly the same thing that we did for Rave to Death. And that was just making our own twist on something that we really fuck with. You know what I mean? That's what Rave to Death was. The Asteria and Kitseki, duo project cadence isn't based on, what's gonna get the most streams or what's an evolution or anything. It's just what's on both of our minds at the moment, you know what I mean? I think the next collab album's gonna be, I don't even fucking know. It's just gonna be whatever we like at that point. It's authentic, it's great. Someone said, would you ever reach out to your fan base if you had no one else? I mean, to be honest, I did once. And I met someone that I've still talked to this day. I remember back when I had like 700 followers, I posted on my story, I feel really sad and I have no one to talk to. Someone actually swiped up and, decided to talk to me. We kept the connection for years and years. And I eventually got to meet them in real life, after everything took off and I was able to go around the world. Nowadays, would I? If I meet someone that I vibe with, yeah. What was it like performing with Mata? Holy shit. I had just finished the Digital Dancer tour. I was out on the road for a month. I was literally laying in my bed and then Kids came into my room and he was like, do you want to perform at a stadium with like 8,000 people? I was like, do you? He was like, yeah, we could do it together. Like Mata wants to bring us on there. He wants us to perform with him. And I was like, fuck yeah. I thought I was just finished touring. I had just finished the whole month, but I guess it was just practice because now it's game on. Now we're in front of 8,000 people. There was fucking fire on the stage coming out from the side and it was making my body like hot and cold. It was like overstimulating. It was the most craziest surreal feeling of all time. The moment I got on stage and the moment I got off, I don't remember. I didn't feel nervous for like a second. And I was there with kids, with my fucking brother. It was like, everything that we had imagined, like while we were just sitting on Discord as kids. I love Mata for giving us the opportunity. He's fucking amazing. What is it like working with Barely Human? I love him. I remember when I went to LA for the first time, he was only in LA for like 2 weeks. We had a limited amount of time to work together, but we were in and out of the studio super late at night, working on Bloodbath, working on the whole Cute Songs for Gangsters and everything, and it was so fun. Sometimes we have our differences in the studio. Sometimes we debate. Me and Kits, we don't have any debates over anything in the studio. We're completely in sync all the time. Me and Barely, sometimes we have some debates in the studio on what's better and what's not. Do you miss being in Fab Fantasy? I remember when Barely first asked me to be a part of Fab Fantasy, I read his message on Instagram. It was the only message he sent me ever back then. He just said, do you want to join Fab Fantasy? And I was so fucking excited. I was already telling my brother all about it. To go from that point to running around on tour with him and everything, it came a long way. But even back then when Fab Fantasy was really picking up, it was a good vibe, Everybody working together, everyone doing their thing. Nowadays it's disbanded, obviously, because we gotta focus on ourselves. But me and Kids are always gonna focus on each other. That's why we have Anarchist Sanctuary. Would you work with Odatari again? Absolutely. I remember he performed in Warsaw and I just came to just watch. He came up to me while I was standing on the side of the stage. He was in the middle of performing and he came up to me. He was like, you want to perform Tell Me Lies? Yeah, I would love to. And then he told the DJ to go and download Tell Me Lies. And the DJ's downloading Tell Me Lies in the middle of the performance. And he brought me up onto the stage in front of everyone. No one was expecting it. I wasn't even expecting it. I found out I'm going on stage 5 minutes before I actually went on stage. How was it like living with Kids? Back when we were first living together, it was crazy. We used to live in this big ass penthouse with like 8 motherfuckers in there all making music. It was chaotic, like you couldn't get any sleep. There's always a party going on, always someone has their friends over, and it's like 8 of us live here, but realistically like 15. Because like everyone's got people over. But it kind of got to a point, you know? We've lived together through like different eras of our lives and everything, so it always looks different, you know? Like that's when I locked in on Eyes on Me and What You Want and everything. I remember making it on the kitchen counter in that house. He actually motivated me to drop What You Want because I didn't even want to drop What You Want in the beginning. I was like, this sounds kind of annoying, I don't really like it. So I recorded on it at the end of a studio session that he had on a song with Aisha Erotica. And it was really reluctant recording, I just did it really fast. I was like, oh, this song's like even more annoying now that I sang on it. And he was like, no, you need to snippet it, you need to try it, you need to post it. Like, you know, you need to see if people like it. And then I did and it blew up. If it weren't for him, I would have not have even had the confidence to drop What You Want. And I mean, with Eyes on Me, he literally gave me the idea for that song as well. I made the beat and I had no idea what to sing for the hook. I had no clue at all. And, you know, we shared a room together. He was helping me and he was like, what about Eyes on Me? And I was like, that's perfect. So I did that and it blew up. He's the man behind everything. Somebody said, were you close with your brother growing up? In the beginning, no. We were always fighting until one day we were at school and he just did something that kind of upset me. So I punched him in the face in front of everybody. I just punched my own brother in the face at school. For some reason, the teachers decided, oh, we're going to suspend both of you because he provoked you and you punched him. So we were both suspended. Goes without saying, electronics revoked. So we were sitting in the house with nothing to entertain ourselves. We could only talk to each other. And that was about a week of us just talking to each other every day. And I found out about the stuff that he actually really likes, things I would have never even, you know, wanted to talk to him about because like, he's my brother, fuck you, you know? Since that moment, we've never argued. We never get in each other's way. So now we're very close. All I had to do was punch him in the face. Someone said, what did you want to be when you were a kid? I remember I was like 5 years old and this girl asked me, she was like, what do you want to be when you're older? And I don't even know why, but I was like, I want to be a rock star. Maybe I just thought it was a cool answer, but I think I somewhat fulfilled that. So at least you would know that I'm a man of my word. I didn't have anyone that actually truly like shared the same deep interests as me when I was growing up. I was better off just not talking about my interests and just acting like I'm interested in everything everybody else is interested in because I just wanted to get by. And I just had no aspirations, just floating through doing whatever I wanted until I was 16 and dropped out. And then I kind of just, you know, covered my eyes, spin the globe and like threw a dart on like what I would do. And I was like, I guess I'll do music, you know, it's something I'm kind of good at. That's really how it came to be. And then everything started coming to fruition more and more and more. And I got more and more reasons and more purpose of why I want to keep doing it, you know? Somebody said, how did it feel when you first realized you're actually famous? I realized it when I was on a train, looking at my Spotify and I'd hit 1 million monthly listeners. And for me, that was the, you know, milestone of like, yeah, like made it. But to be honest, I didn't feel any better. I was still struggling with the same things and I was still satisfied by the same things. I thought it would completely flip a switch on me as a person, but I was just still really sad. It didn't give me the fulfillment that I thought it would. It made me realize that the only place I'm actually going to find that sort of fulfillment is through the impact on other people. Going on tour and seeing the fans and seeing how they support and everything like that is actually what makes me feel fulfilled. Somebody said, would Crayola be proud of Asteria? Wow, that is actually a good question. Hell yeah. But I don't think me back then would have ever imagined what I would become now. I mean, I'm nothing like how I used to be. I originally was going to be faceless while I was making music. For a long time, I didn't even show my face. I wasn't proud of myself. I mean, me back then definitely could have never imagined that I would dress up and drag for a music video as a girl, head to toe. And a lot of people were confused on like, what is he doing? Why is he dressing up like a girl for a music video? That whole music video is just a message of self-acceptance. I feel like if you really want to accept yourself, you have to accept all versions of yourself that you could be. Because back when I was in school, I didn't really have anyone to talk to. So I would just spin around on a pole outside. Obviously not sexually, like I'm just spinning around, I'm just passing the time. I just want break to be over. I can't talk to any of these fucking people. These kids would like laugh at me and call me a stripper. And like, it really hurt me. And it made me think like, you know, these people would never even try pole dancing because they're afraid that they might like it. They would not accept that version of themselves at all. But what if you do like it? It's great. I love it. And I would have never even known that if I didn't do this music video. It's like another testament to the message. Also a little bit of self-love because like, you know, at the end. Somebody said, how did you meet Kiseki? I think I've already told it, but I'll tell it again. It started because I had a crush on this girl and she posted one of Kiseki's songs. It was every single day and I wanted to see what she's interested in. And I went and listened to it and I was like, wow, this is sick. So I reached out to Kiseki and I wanted to buy a feature from him. And we made one song. Nothing really came out of it, but I messaged him to buy another one for I Fucked Your Friend. And that changed everything. He really loved that song. And then since then, we just locked in, talking on Discord for hours and hours and hours all night, working on Rave to Death, making new music, getting to know each other. It was amazing. We're in completely different time zones. Poland and New Zealand are 12 hours apart. I was flipping my sleep schedule around and he was flipping his sleep schedule around just so we could talk to each other all night and just make music and everything and stay on Discord. He told me, he was like, I could fly you to Poland. I was like, do it. And he didn't believe that I would actually come. He thought my parents would say no or something, but you know, he flew me over to Poland at 17 years old, met him in real life, and then, boom, here we are. Somebody said, what is it like going on tour with Barely Human? Being on tour, it's like 10% performing and 90% just driving, sitting in hotels and everything. I remember when I saw the tour bus for the first time, they were all getting into their seats and Barely Human sat at the back and there was one seat next to him. I like rushed in front of the whole team so I could sit next to him. So I was sitting next to him the whole time on tour and we would just talk while we're traveling and it was great. What's a funny moment that you and Kits have had? Every day is like a funny moment, you know? I don't know, I can't think of anything funny, but I can think of something that was really pure. I remember when I had first moved to Poland and my bed had broke. So he actually let me sleep in his bed and he slept on the floor in the same room, literally cold hard floor. All that just to make sure I was comfortable, like this dude's really selfless. Did you ever consider quitting music? One moment made me think that I was really not cut out for this. I was 17, I was in Paris, I was invited to the show to watch. I remember when I was arriving there, swarms of people, crowds of people outside, people were fucking everywhere. It's like a riot pretty much. I was trying to get through people so I could just, you know, get in and go. And then I was talking to the guy who was like kind of in front of the door and I was like, hey, I'm on the list, can I get in? He was like, what's your name? And I was like, Asteria. And then I see him start slowly typing HY, like hysteria. And I was like, no, it's asteria, like asteria. And then he was like, you're not on the list. It's asteria, like with an A. And then, you know, this bodyguard like came up to me and like pushed me in front of this whole swarm of people and was like screaming in my face, some shit. I don't even remember. It made me so upset. I literally started crying. I was crying and just trying to get the fuck away from all these people. Tears coming down my eyes. I mean, like I was just a kid, you know, everything was so new. I didn't know who the fuck could really like relate. So out of all people, I called like one of my label executives, like someone who works at my label. I called them crying. I was like, they didn't let me in. Like they fucking screamed at me and I'm sick of this shit. I don't want to go. Everyone's so mean. I can't handle it. I just want to go home. This is too much. And he was like, I'm sorry that happened, you know, just take care of yourself. Like, what was he supposed to do? You know what I mean? It was just so intense for me. It just made me think like, you know, maybe I'm not like, you know, maybe I'm not accepted into this stuff. Eventually I got over it and I grew up, I got older and everything, you know, but that moment I think was really, you know, made me realize what I'm here for and what I'm not. Someone said, how did you feel when you were told that you're getting deported? I mean, I can tell you the story. Last year I went on a holiday to South Korea. It was supposed to be 2 weeks, but a week through, I was crashing out. You know, I just wanted to go home so bad. I really just wanted to go in my own bedroom. Took the first flight back to Poland from Korea. And when I went to Poland, denied entry, visa issues. And it was a long process to get back on the flight to South Korea. I was like, wanted to go home. Maybe I could shoot some music videos, make songs around here, you know. But then the immigration at Korea said that you need to go back to your own country. My mindset had already changed like 3 times. Thought I was going to Poland and then I thought I was going to Korea. Apparently now I'm going to New Zealand. I had to get straight on the flight. And I was sitting there on this flight, wide awake for 10 hours to Australia, not even New Zealand, it was a connection. And everyone on the flight is Korean and it's nighttime. So they're all falling asleep, but I'm wide awake. And my phone is dying. My AirPods are dead. The in-flight entertainment's in fucking Korean. So I was completely stuck with my thoughts for 10 hours, nothing to distract myself on that flight while everybody is fast asleep and the lights are off. And I'm not gonna lie, I just cried for hours and hours. There wasn't even tears left to cry at a certain point, but I just kept crying and I was trying to, you know, be quiet because people were sleeping and people were around me, everything going through my head of am I going to be able to come home? When am I going to see my friends again? Am I going to be able to go on tour? I was crying so much that I even told one of the flight attendants that I feel really upset. Just, I don't even know why. I just wanted maybe some help, but it only got worse. Because once I finally got to New Zealand, about 4 days straight of flying had passed. I literally smelled fucking terrible. I wasn't able to shower at all. I had eaten like almost nothing. I was standing in the airport waiting for my bag to arrive on the carriage. 10 minutes went by, no bag. 20 minutes went by, no bags. 30 minutes went by, and I lost my bags. So I couldn't even change my fucking clothes. I was stuck in New Zealand for about a month, confused on whether I would come home soon, if I could go on tour, if anything's going to be the fucking same. Couldn't even use my passport to fly anywhere because they keep it. I missed my home. I missed everything that I worked for. It was really isolating. I was thinking, you know, while I was sitting there in New Zealand, like, is this what gets me? You know, like, is this actually what destroys me? Really got punched in the face and stripped away of everything that made me who I am, just to get it all back with everything on the line. Because if I didn't get a visa, I actually wouldn't have been able to go on tour. I didn't even fucking know. And I wouldn't have been able to come home for a while. And it made me so much more grateful for everything, like just waking up in my bed, doing all of this shit. It made me so much more grateful. There was actually a lot of good things to take away from all that shit that I had to go through. Somebody said, what was it like growing up in New Zealand? I started school in New Zealand and I didn't know how to talk to people. I didn't know how people make friends. So I didn't have any friends except for my brother's friends. My brother's friend group just kind of, you know, let me hang because I was his brother. Took a while until I could actually make my own friends that I actually, you know, connect with. I would just copy everybody else. No one fucking liked my interests. No one wanted to talk about what I really wanted to talk about. I remember sitting down by myself and then this girl would come up to me and try and talk to me and like have a conversation with me for like a joke. It's just brutal shit like that like made me fucking hate school. That's why I dropped out the moment I got the opportunity. It really became clear to me who's real and who's not when I dyed my hair red. It was before like the school ball or something. So I was like, you know what? I'm not going to tell anybody because I didn't want them to influence my decision or hear shit about what they had to say. I'm going to dye it half black, half red. I'm going to stand on it. I wasn't looking for anybody's approval. I was actually looking for people's disapproval and their slight little, you know, weird looks at me so that I could know, okay, don't talk to this motherfucker ever again. If you don't really fuck with me like that, then fuck you. So I pulled up there, stunning, and then really quickly understood, you know, who is real and who's not. And it was all of them. Like all of them weren't. So since then, just kind of got by and then got the fuck out of there. And I remember telling my brother long after school was over when I was really on the grind with music, I remember telling him, right now, I have black and red hair. Once I achieve all the things that I want to achieve and I've like, you know, really made it and I've really, you know, done what I want to do, I'm going to make my hair fully red. It's going to be like my final form. And I mean, look at me. But I'm going to keep going. I just want to make an impact on people. I like seeing the fans. I like seeing them on tour. I like connecting with them. People write letters and I have them in my house, you know. It's like right in front of the living room because I like to just go through them at random times. It keeps me motivated, you know. I wouldn't say I'm necessarily in my final form. I'm definitely going to keep, you know, growing and changing. But for me back then, it was enough. And it is enough. I'm satisfied. And the last question, as it always is on Internet Underground, what is your message to the internet? I think if there's anything that last year has taught me, it's that anything that you have and anyone that you have around you and all the things that you value, it can all get completely stripped away and it can all just completely vanish just like that. So make sure that you cherish everything you have around you, all the people that you know, all the people that you love, because you never know where they could go.